Have you ever opened an app just to check one thing, and suddenly an hour has completely vanished? We often blame ourselves for this, but your phone's design is engineered to override your self-control. Every time you open a short video app, you are carrying a miniature slot machine. It uses flashing lights and rapid-fire information to drain your mental energy, leading to that familiar exhaustion known as brain rot. To see why this is so effective, we need to look at dopamine. You might have heard dopamine described as a pleasure chemical, but it actually has a different job. Dopamine is the chemical of anticipation. It creates a powerful itch in your brain, driving you to seek out rewards and compelling you to keep doing whatever provides them. This graph maps what we expect versus what we actually get. When an experience perfectly matches what you expect, your dopamine levels stay flat. But when you swipe and see a video that is much funnier or more shocking than you anticipated, you get a surprise bonus. Your brain registers reality exceeding expectations, and it triggers a massive dopamine spike. As you keep watching, the app's algorithm learns exactly what triggers your surprise bonus, while eliminating any pause or loading time that might break the spell. Your brain receives dozens of these spikes back to back, locking you into a continuous, frictionless loop of searching for the next hit. Compulsive scrolling is a highly successful exploitation of our ancient survival wiring. Modern technology leverages these instincts, leaving us perpetually stimulated but never satisfied. Think of your brain as a control room run by two different systems. First, you have the reflex. It operates incredibly fast, driven by raw emotion and deep instincts. Then you have the thinker. The thinker sits right behind your forehead in the prefrontal cortex, handling logic, self-control, and long-term planning. When you scroll through rapid-fire emotional videos, the reflex becomes completely overstimulated. It sends signals that lock the thinker out of the control room. This state of autopilot is a measurable change in your brain. Look at the fMRI scan on this monitor. It shows a physical drop in activity in the prefrontal cortex, which is your thinker's home base. Normally, when you aren't doing a specific task, a part of your brain called the daydream network takes over. You can think of it as your internal monologue, where your mind wanders and reflects on your own thoughts. But personalized algorithms are exceptionally good at hijacking this network. Instead of letting your mind wander freely, they tie your internal thoughts directly to the external video feed. With the logical thinker locked out and your daydream network firmly tethered to the screen, your working memory starts dropping items. The overarching thought that you need to go to sleep or finish your homework gets entirely erased from your active attention. Putting the phone down becomes neurologically agonizing. The speed of these short videos causes another major problem. Your brain uses specific regions, like the claustrum and the caudate, like a set of memory filing cabinets, carefully sorting sensory details into cohesive memories. The relentless speed and constant context switching of a video feed jam these cabinets shut, actively blocking your brain from encoding what you watch. This chart reveals the cost of memory disruption. Researchers found viewers correctly recalled 66% of facts from long-form content, but for short-form videos, that accuracy drops to just 43%. The fragmented format prevents your brain from building a lasting understanding. This happens because the apps use a design called the bottomless bowl. In the past, you had to click to the next page or reach the end of a television episode, giving you a natural stopping cue to pause and reflect. Infinite scrolling removes all physical boundaries, bypassing your ability to consciously stop. The videos themselves also bypass your critical thinking. Creators use extreme facial expressions and fast pacing to force your brain to automatically adopt their emotions. By speaking directly into the camera and sharing highly personal stories, they create a fake one-sided friendship that builds a deep emotional dependency. The videos demand very little cognitive effort to watch, but they hit you with massive emotional stimulation. This precise combination strips away your mental defenses, dropping you into a passive consumption trap where time loses all meaning. This environment is especially difficult for adolescents. During the teenage years, the emotional reflex system is highly sensitive to social feedback, but the logical thinker doesn't fully mature until the mid-20s. This biological gap makes teen brains highly susceptible to dopamine-heavy algorithms, overwhelming their still-developing self-control. The physical consequences follow you to bed. The blue light from your screen tricks your brain into suppressing sleep hormones, while the rapidly changing emotions in the videos elevate your heart rate and trigger your body's stress response. By the time you close the app, your nervous system is wired for daytime vigilance, leading to severe digital insomnia. The cognitive and physical impacts are clear enough that governments are stepping in. Under the Digital Services Act, the European Union is formally targeting large platforms for their addictive design, legally mandating that they change how their digital environments are put together. Because this design shifts users into a state of autopilot that ignores indicators of compulsive use, regulators now classify these apps as a systemic risk. They are demanding changes to how these digital spaces are built, under threat of massive financial penalties. This state of autopilot is a physical process called neuroadaptation, and your brain is capable of shifting its state. When you flood your system with digital hits, your brain turns down its sensitivity to cope. If you provide a break, those neural receptors can return to their natural baseline. You can start by setting a cozy screen curfew. Carve out a 2 to 4 hour window each day where your phone is completely out of sight. As you let yourself experience intentional boredom, your baseline dopamine levels normalize. Slowly, you will find joy and motivation returning for real-world, high-effort tasks. This diagram shows a powerful way to re-engage your executive control: rigorous aerobic exercise. When you raise your heart rate, you physically pump oxygenated blood straight back into your suppressed prefrontal cortex, waking the logical thinker back up. If you have questions about the psychology or neuroscience behind your digital habits, drop them in the comments below. Let us know what topics you'd like to see next, and make sure to subscribe to SMS Says Psych for more deep dives. Your attention is your most valuable resource, and literally millions of dollars are spent trying to capture it. By understanding the underlying hardware of your own brain, you gain the power to break the algorithm's loop, invite the thinker back into the control room, and finally take your time back.